Welcome back, Guardians. So, I don't know if I'm going to have to watch this to make sure I'm doing this right. Basically, I'm waiting for the little banner that says broadcast started to go away before I start speaking. Because sometimes it seems like my intro gets cut off. So, you guys don't actually ever get to hear me say welcome, Guardians. So, welcome. And we're doing Control. I did my mandatory rumble for the bounty. We are working on Crucible bounties and for the Bright Dust and for the 3 matches of the week Pinnacle drop, just because there might be something I could use. But mostly we're still chipping away at the high voltage quest. I have 52 matches, 52 activities to play, or approximately 30 activities. I'm going to say actually 40. I'm going to say 40 because Gambit, Crucible wins, and higher level Nightfalls, which means I have to LFG, will get me more progress. But yeah, I'm not going to do higher level Nightfalls. Now, this week's Nightfall is fantastic. It's the Devil's Lair, and I love it. But for the most part, by and large, as it is, such that it is, what other qualifiers can I throw in there? Okay, well, anyway, my 8th grade English teacher would just be sneering at me right now because I failed. Yeah, it's just, like I said, I'm grinding and grinning as the world keeps spinning. So anyway, talk about stuff while we're waiting for the lobby to load. Oh, that's pretty quick. So Sly Flourish is a dungeon master, RPG designer, and commentator on the industry of tabletop role-playing games and role-playing games. Actually, I call them role-playing games. Okay, I don't use tabletop role-playing games unless I feel I'm talking to somebody who might not know the difference between a video game RPG like Final Fantasy and The Legend of Zelda and Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online, and then somebody who's actually rolling dice and shoving pencils around on pieces of paper with little miniatures on a map board, probably. But anyway, so Sly Flourish was talking a lot today about how to ensure your role-playing games or your tabletop games last or endure the changes that are coming in the industry. Now, he didn't say there are actually changes coming, but earlier this year, Wizards of the Coast tried to completely isolate and monetize Dungeons and Dragons, creating what is called a garden economy, a walled garden, but I call it the garden economy, where you are trapped within this walled garden and you are literally a bird in a gilded cage. Apple does this. Dungeon Craft, Professor Dungeon Master from Dungeon Craft talks a lot about this in his channel. And it started making me, and here's the thing, it's like for the last 4 years, I've been getting back into playing role-playing games, and especially playing solo role-playing games. I enjoyed Lone Wolf, Fighting Fantasy, and Tunnels and Trolls, plus the TSR did release a couple of solo modules, but they're very branching narrative, linear storytelling kind of situations. You don't really quite have the option to say, well, I want to go check out what that merchant is doing over there, since it mentions the merchant in the background text. It might be something I want to go take a look at. Let's go take a look at that. I mean, even Skyrim is a linear storytelling with branching narratives. I mean, you get to choose between the Stormcloaks and the Empire. You get to choose to be a Dark Brotherhood operative or take the whole organization down. That dude was like fucking unkillable. 9 out of 10. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing 100. Yeah, but I lost that fight. I don't care. It's okay. What was I going to do? I could actually do Rumble. Win or lose, I'm spending 8 to 9 minutes, I think it is. Or is it a 10-minute match? I can't remember. So, yeah, he was talking about how, before things like Dimension 20 and D&D Beyond, everybody was totally okay with books and pencils and dice and paper. And, and he commented that books and pencils have been around for 5,000 years, and the D20, literally, not kidding, guys, go look it up, has been around for 2,000 years. It was actually rolled as a game of lots in ancient times, and not just used for like, gambling and stuff. They used it as a means of counting things like units of parcels and crops and things like that, and taking censuses and stuff. Um, so yeah, humankind has been infatuated with the Pythagorean solids, since before Pythagoras was walking the earth. And if there's a way that we can gamble and take chances with shit, that's what we do, because there are four key elements. I used to say there's one tool that is the most supreme tool that human beings can ever use, and that is pattern recognition. But from pattern recognition, we get our other special tools, which is imagination and or I call speculation, and curiosity and empathy. Um, because with pattern repetition, we recognize that if we perform in a certain pattern, in a certain way, we get a certain reaction. And while some people would call that sociopathic, it's actually sociologic, and it is the basis of empathy. It's how when you start to perform in conjunction or coherence, no, in concert. If you start to perform in concert with, a random group, such as this lobby here that I'm in, uh, notice that the three of us are flocking. There are three of us here that are always together on the radar, and this is where you use your radar more than just finding enemies. It's all about, making sure you stay close to your allies, and you're operating with them. You're watching what they're running. You're watching what they're attacking, and if you don't feel you're strong enough to take on the target yourself, then you work with them to support them, because their rising tide will also lift your boat. And this is something that most people don't really get in a game like this, and most people don't understand. Most companies don't understand when it comes to gaming in general, and what is a service and what is a product. Uh, One of the things that Sly Flourish mentions is that anything you do online, you don't own it. You do not own. It is all part of the terms and agreements uh, of the service that you are renting. You're leasing it, basically. And you have to be, conscious of the fact that, and if at any time they could revoke your access to the service for any reasons. They could be the fact that they want you to upgrade to a new platform. It could be that they just, closing it down because it's not doing anything. Um, and all that stuff, and then you're going to be ass out of luck. And so he was talking specifically about Beyond, D&D Beyond. Any rule book, any guidebook, anything you buy or anything you download from D&D Beyond is not yours to keep. You don't own it. You're renting it. So getting books, having books, papers, pencils, dice, physical dice, ready to go. That's something that it sounds kind of preppy. And conspiratorial, but it's really the truth, because when WotC tried to wall off D&D behind a paywall, essentially, it was an eye opener for many players, and it was an eye opener for many third party creators, and realizing that they really need to make sure that the field is broad but organized. And that's kind of what I really wanted to share. And in terms of video gaming, like I said, about 3 years ago, I started getting back into tabletop gaming, and especially solo play, because video gaming stopped providing me with the things that I came to it for. I've started playing video games because, one, I wasn't able to get to clubs to play on tabletops. I didn't have a large player base in which to do anything like role-playing games. And the people that I did play games with other game systems like Magic the Gathering, chess, checkers, all that stuff, weren't really into RPGs. And I don't begrudge a person not wanting to sit down and play make-pretend with dice and paper. But as an artist who's constantly farming ideas, that's the other thing too. So then for a few years, that's what I used video gaming for. I used it as my daydreaming station. I would sit there and just let my mind wander, inspired by the gameplay that I was going through, things like that. And then for a while, I just realized that, it was just kind of fun to play because I was playing with people. I started getting into social gaming with Destiny, and then Elder Scrolls Online, and then Conan Exiles, and then Minecraft. And I realized that the fun that I had enjoyed of playing at the tabletop could be had on a video game. Um, I never played PC except for Tron 2.0, which was horrible because my laptop did not have the processing power or the graphics card to run the game. It had an audio card that was fantastic. I mean, the music and sound effects from the game were just fantastically crisp and clear and awesome. He's Iron Man. Oh, that's really kind of cool. What is that? Black Galactus. What is this? This is from like the Scorned Baron Robes. No, this is a Tish Robes. That's fascinating. Very fascinating. Quite a unique look. Um, yeah, fashion is the end game in this game. So yeah, it started getting me back into thinking about the fact that every hour that I spend playing a game like Destiny is an hour I'm not making artwork, I'm not painting miniatures, I'm not promoting my my wargaming terrain and miniature services. It's an expense. Even if the Destiny is free to play now, which at the time that I first got into it, obviously it was not. Um, even if it's free to play, it's technically not because the time you spend here is stuff you're not earning an income to play. And now, if I was an actual monetized streamer, on Twitch or doing that kind of funky stuff where I get donations and subscriptions and stuff, it would probably be a different story. I would want to play Destiny more, and I'd want to play more effectively. Especially because, I wanted to be able to make sure that people enjoyed the content that they were watching and could see, something of value in here and possibly... Whew, he was after me. Why so serious? I don't know, because 69 is serious business. Just remember, at 69, you're anywhere between a half an inch to an inch and a half away from shit, so be careful. Yeah, like I said, I'm never going to be monetized. So yeah, that's kind of really what I wanted to bring up is the fact that, you don't own Destiny. There's nothing in this game that you can walk away with other than the memory and maybe a screen capture or two of, what you did. Oh, fuck, yay. Graviton Lance is a thing now. Yep, I love that. You cannot mistake that weapon's activity. That is what I see. That Graviton Lance is what an exotic always should be: identifiable, unique, standout. I don't think we're going to win this one. We're not capturing command posts. He just dodged out of my knives. Oh, he is super quick. There we go.
You captured Zone B. You have advantage.
Can I get a double down? Yes, sir. Thank you for the assist. My peace bond pisses people off. Got me. So dead air for now because I just don't feel like talking. I'm getting into the zone. Ah! Old Sterling. But that's a stock buy too, like from Banshee. Yeah. That's the one he sold a couple days ago, I think. Using Blade Barrage in this confined space is a bit on the dangerous side, but hello, funny. Where I'm going, I don't need overshields. Just running around collecting command posts. It's all the good times. Oh, Jotun! He had to break out the cheater gun. God damn it. I only ever see Jotun come out when there's a threat that we might actually beat their asses. As good as like super. I mean, does he got like targeting adjusters on his shit and stuff? What the hell? What's going on here? Nope, no mods there. Hands on. Huh, really? Just really that fucking good of an aim, huh? Fuck. Alright. I'm cool. I ain't chasing. Yeah, we just didn't have enough energy on my side of the map. That's okay. It is what it is. You win some, you lose some. In this game, it's all luck of the dice, flip of the card, spin of the wheel. You know, it's gambling. It is. All gaming is gambling. You just, you gotta understand that. Accepted. Challenge accepted. Oh, somebody else got the kill. Thanks. I don't need the kills, do I? No, I don't. Actually, I really don't fucking care. I used to get so salty about that. Like, God damn it, I'm trying to complete a bounty. I'm trying to complete a quest. If Bungie actually got rid of the whole final blow phraseology in their bounties and quest logs, where it's like you could get credit for it so long as you put even 2 bullets on it. I know why they did it. It's because they wanted to limit the number of people who were being carried, because that's a service that they should be able to provide. And it really comes down to the 2 things in life. People are afraid they're not getting what they feel they're entitled to. People are afraid and people are entitled. That's what it comes down to. Entitlement and fear is the crux of almost all the shit that goes down against you in the world. Somebody thinks they're more entitled to what you have than what you are to what you have, and somebody is afraid that they might not have enough. So when Bungie rewrote their bounties to require the final shot for you to have count it, they did 3 things. 1, they promoted that ever so popular PvP competition shit that they love in their games, because if you can divide a population and create tribalism, you have control over the population, and therefore you can limit your you can limit your marketing effort and target your audience better. Basically, create a choke point like you do on a PvP map. And the other thing they did is, reduce the instances of people paying for carry services. Because you have to get the final blow, that means that unless somebody's going to be doing an account recovery, which is a no-no. Wow, this dude. Ghosty Knight. Oh, okay. What is his stats? He only had a 5. I should have been able to take him out. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, let's go sniff some farts. Yay. Black Galactus. It was a really unique armor setup. I like that a lot, actually. I'm still looking at it. It's so fucking awesome. Philomath cover, Warmind's avatar. I mean, look at this, dude. He's got the whole... It is totally Iron Man, You got the repulsor beam thingies on the hands and stuff like that. You got the mask. That's like the helmet up Iron Man thing. And then, of course, that's obvious right there. Oh, I bet he's using that RGB shader, too. Yeah, photo finish. I don't have that one yet. That's one I don't have yet, right? Let me see. Collections, flare, shaders, activities, or is it seasonals? Which of these things could be alphabetized? I would love for that to happen. I know that sounds like a minor request, but a quality of life thing just to kind of get through here. I mean, if the whole idea is to let us inspect each other so that we can actually, find things to chase in the game, because that's what this game is. It's a chase game. Whereas Magic the Gathering was a collector and competitive game, the tabletop game. You owned the cards. You paid for the packs. You opened them up. You build the deck. You own that card. It is yours to do with as you wish, except for plagiarize and stuff like that, and claim you have copyright to, because it's not yours in that sense, but it is your physical property and therefore yours to do with as you wish. I don't see photo finish anywhere. Do you see it, guys? What the hell? Okay, so it's not there. Is it in the world? It wasn't one of those, like, well, I'm being ridiculous. I could just, whoopsie. There we go. Just look through here. Yeah. Yeah. The three things that I would really like to see in this game is a return of Sparrow Racing, alphabetized menus across all interfaces and inventories, and it's some kind of mini game you could do with your jump ships. That's all Destiny really is now. It's just a collection of mini games. It's like it'd be no different if I loaded up the arcade classics from Namco. What the hell? Oh, he went in biz. Stay on the radar. Stay together, Guardians. So you can all take a grenade at once. Are we trying to flip the map? The fuck? I couldn't. That dude right there, that guy right there, I couldn't fucking see. My brain would not register his presence, but I know he was right there. It's so weird that happens. It's just unnerving. And I don't know why it happens, but it does. Oh my god, it's the same dude. And he never gets the final kill. Or she, I don't know. Seriously, don't fucking understand that. See, I have this running conspiracy that Bungie has protected players. There's a certain group of players that are like deliberately unkillable in most everything they do. Why so serious again? Oh, no, that's not him. Because this guy didn't. The guy I'm looking for doesn't have spikes on their head. My instincts say that it's going to come through here. Uh-huh. Queen Zombie Hunter. Ah, they're using my little camouflage technique. Bower. I think it was Bower. Either Queen Zombie Hunter or Bower. Ooh, look at this. No, it wasn't her. No, it wasn't her. Must have been this one. Yeah, this is it. This is the dude that's like disappears on screen. Well, or your brain doesn't want to register it. There's a couple of colors in the design palette that theme parks like to use. Disney was a pioneer of this theory of color. Um, there's a gray and a green that, for some reason, our brains don't pick up and register very quickly because it's ubiquitous in our environments. It's basically, they call it ignore me green and don't look at me gray. And the gray is actually a very neutral, warm, well, I say semi-neutral, warm tone of stone color, like concrete. because our world is so full of it. We see it all the time, so we just kind of like, man, it's there. And the Ignore Me green is basically the same color green that the U.S. Army used to apply to their tanks and uniforms and stuff as a way to produce camouflage, which doesn't necessarily break up the form of the object it was camouflaging, which is what camouflage is normally supposed to do, but basically to obfuscate its presence, in sense that you saw it, but you recognize it as being something ubiquitous. Um, I kind of call it a Castle Grayskull green from the original, the '80s version. Yay! I'm gonna say you are best dressed. Alright, let's go check a look at the progress I've done on this little bit of granite. Okay, we're actually doing pretty good here. This is kind of nice. Yay! 47 more events to go through. I know, I said that, if I win them, then I don't have to deal with them too much. But we have 3 more bounties to take care of. Hawthorne has something fun to do. Let's do that. Let's take a break here. And I'm gonna basically sign off for a little bit. So, thanks for stopping by. Hope something that I said made some sense. If you are a person who lives in the digital world, you might want to think about making some hard copies of stuff, especially telephone numbers, addresses, birth dates, things of significance to your social circles. And just remember, anything you download or so-called purchase online as a digital form, you don't really own it. It could be taken away from you at any minute. And maybe that's an expression of fear in itself, but it's a reminder that services are more profitable than products, because you get returns on them, and that's what Bungie's become. Bungie's games are a service; they're not products anymore, because you have to log on. You have to pay the service through PlayStation Plus, and therefore Bungie's announced itself to be free to play because it's now part of PlayStation. Sony owns it, I think, or is partnered with it. So all the money the studio makes is going to be on its new game, and eventually on all the little bits of silver that we throw at it. So, anyway, thanks for stopping by. Big hugs.